Hi everyone! Today is a really special video because we are going to do a summer harvest. Now this is probably our biggest harvest so far this year. There's tons of stuff ready, so I'm really excited to walk around the garden with you all and harvest our delicious fresh vegetables.
And this is my first full-time CaliKim teammate worker with you on our first harvest video.
That's right, it's so exciting that Jerry is now with CaliKim full-time. But right off the bat, we've got some beautiful strawberries to harvest in the hanging baskets here. We really enjoy coming out here and just picking berries for breakfast, don't we, Jerry?
Oh, we just enjoy it, do it for dinner, and it's just awesome.
Now that you're home full-time with me, we'll come out here and do this more often in the mornings. So you know the berries are ripe when the top of the berry is completely red. Now these berries are a little bit on the small side, but they are ripe and red and ready to go. So we're gonna take them off and put them in our little berry basket here. Ooh, this one looks really good. Look how shiny and red that is. It's just so much fun to grow our own food and know exactly what goes into it, and the flavor is just out of this world. And right next to it, we have some Tiny Tim tomatoes. And it's so fun to grow in these hanging baskets here. These are the Smart Pods basket liners, in case you're wondering. And it's really fun to grow them next to the house because we really do, we spend so much time out here, and we just pop out here and pick some of our veggies for breakfast and lunch or for dinner while we're grilling. Now we're starting off right here at the top of the hill here with the scarlet runner beans. They are the most delicious bean. I love them. They're super, super tender. Now they do grow very fast, so you gotta get them. This one's overripe before the pods start to bulge if you eat them for the beans. But these will be great for actually saving the beans for dried beans or for replanting. So let's look for a couple that are just perfect for eating. This one here is nice and small, and we'll go ahead and pick that one off. We'll see what else we can find up here. The pollinators are starting to buzz around these flowers here. This one is perfect. See how it's kind of flat shaped? Now these we love. I just chop them up into 3 or 4 inch pieces, pop off the ends, and I just boil them in salted water for about 5 minutes. They're so delicious and tender. Just have so much flavor. A few more strawberries here spilling over the raised bed. It's really fun to plant strawberries along the edges of your raised beds because they hang over and they just look so pretty. These are yummy. We're gonna have a nice little bundle here for breakfast, and we love them in smoothies too. They're so delicious, or over fresh homemade ice cream. We haven't made homemade ice cream for a while, Jerry. We'll have to get that ice cream maker out. It'll be so good with these berries. Kind of hidden here under the chives. Gives them a little bit of shade. This one looks like it's got some little slug holes in it, or actually pill bugs. We've had lots of pill bugs this year.
Hey, show us that one again. I ran into whatever that
That's
is.
okay. See that little hole there? The pill bugs like to kind of burrow their way in there, or the earwigs. Let me see if we've got any more here. Now strawberries are perennial, so you can plant them and they will overwinter. They will survive over the winter time in most climates. They'll die back, but then they'll come back once the weather gets warm. A couple more little goodies to pick in here. Getting a nice little full berry basket. There's so much life out here this morning. We're filming at about 7 a.m. The hummingbirds, the bees, the butterflies. So fun to just wander around the garden and bring you along with us. But down in here is an eggplant. This is an icicle eggplant. This is an All-America Selections variety, which are always a sure thing to grow in your garden. Look how beautiful that is. I love the white color. We're gonna have quite a pretty little grilling up vegetables tonight for dinner. In fact, maybe we should film grilling all these veggies tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Didn't someone ask us to do something about grilling our vegetables?
Yes, we've had a lot of requests, so stay tuned for that, you guys. This is one of my favorite spots in the garden right now. It's so colorful, so green, just so lush. And there are a ton of lemon cucumbers back in here, ready to harvest. I love lemon cucumbers. If you guys watched our garden tour, oops, I'm just gonna pull this one off. You might have seen these, and they are the most delicious cucumber, and they're shaped like a lemon. Isn't that fun?
That is really pretty.
I love these. So I'm going to get up in here and get these babies off. There's tons of them that are ready. I think we're gonna have to have the neighbors over for dinner tomorrow night to help us eat these. And one of my favorite ways to eat cucumbers, we have these for lunch almost every day, is just cut them up and slice them in hummus. And kind of my goal for this summer is to only eat from the garden during the day. And man, you just feel so good. Look at these are huge. I don't even know if I can get back in here.
I don't even know if I can either with the camera, so I hope I'm getting it.
Oh my gosh, the flavor is just amazing. Let me know what you're harvesting in your garden right now. It's just so rewarding to come outside and see all this in our own backyard. I'm gonna have to go around the back door. There's a couple more that are back in there. And someone actually made a comment on our garden tour video that if you pick these or if you harvest them and eat them before they're yellow, the flavor is even better. Haven't tried that. So thanks for the tip on that one. Here you go, Jerry.
Prickly.
Oh man, there's a couple back in here that I missed a couple days ago. This is, I think it's a Boston pickling or a market more. That is beautiful. You throw that in the basket. Now cucumbers, you want to try and get, before they get yellow in the heat. Sometimes they tend to be bitter if they get too big, but the market mores tend to grow a little bit bigger, so those are going to be delicious. If your cucumbers do get bitter, cut the ends off, and usually it's sweetest on the inside. I think we got everything from in there, but before we move on, I have got to show you guys, this is just amazing. Look at this.
Incredible.
Just a week ago, we filmed the garden tour. Look at this. In 1 week, it's literally quadrupled in size. I think it was about this size a week ago. This is a Charleston gray, I believe. So if right now I've got it supported with a tool, but I've got to get a net, a heavy duty net on here so the stem doesn't break, and we will definitely bring you guys along for this harvest. It's gonna be a whopper. Now here on this trellis, we've got some sun-gold tomatoes. If you've never grown sun-golds, you've got to do it. These are like little bursts of flavor in your mouth. They're like eating candy. They're beautiful, they're super productive. Oh my gosh. These are amazing. And this is exactly why we work so hard to grow our own food, so we can come out here and pick it and eat it. It's just so rewarding. It doesn't matter the size of your garden. It doesn't matter if you have one smart pot or a large garden. It's something about just planting a seed, nurturing it, seeing it grow, picking it, eating it, sharing it with those you love. That's just so satisfying.
That is what it's all about right there.
Some of these are a tad overripe. That's okay, there's plenty on here. And with these, you can see the color variation. See how this one's really orange. These ones are a little bit lighter, a tad green. So I like to pick them when they're nice and orange, have a little bit of a give to them. This can stay on just a little bit longer. If you have lots of critters, you can pick your tomatoes early. I'll show you in just a minute how I protect my tomatoes that I want to fully ripen on the vine from the critters. Beautiful. I gotta try one right now. So sweet.
Does Mac eat tomatoes? He's
We'll
right
see.
behind you, see?
He turned his nose up. He's not a vegetable guy. Now I am really excited to check this out because underneath here should be a nice ripe tomato. I was saving it to harvest for this video. And I've got it covered here with one of my 1-gallon smart pots to protect it from the rats.
That's a great idea.
We've got some issues with that.
Binder clips. And a
Yeah,
smart pot.
super simple. Oh my gosh, this is a beautiful tomato.
Wow.
And unfortunately, I'm not sure what variety it is because I dropped my tags when I was planting these things, so.
Sorry.
It's a guess, but it's a gorgeous one, that's for sure. I am thinking this would be really good sliced up on a sandwich or just eaten fresh with some salt. Beautiful, and there's tons more tomatoes on here. You can see some of the leaves here are kind of drying up. We've had pretty hot weather the past week. This one has not been shaded, but lots and lots over here. There's some huge ones back here. If you get a shot of those. Those are gonna be ripe probably within the next few weeks. In fact, this could be a 1 or 2 pounder. I think I'm gonna have to get the scale out and weigh it.
I think this is the biggest tomato I've ever seen back here.
I think so. In fact, I think this might be one of Cliff's giant tomatoes. He sent me seeds for it.
Oh.
It's a nice one. This is a fun one, the zucchini. I must have missed the big baseball bat size one because a week ago on the garden tour, this was not here. So here we go, guys. Zucchini grows so fast. And what I like to do when I harvest zucchini is just kind of twist it off here. See how it connects to the stem. Slow twist, take this baby right out. Now this one would be really good for zucchini lasagna. Use the zucchini in place of the noodles, so it makes a really nice, healthy lasagna. Or breads, baked goods, but this is definitely a big one. Here's some down here that are a little bit more the size that I would prefer to pick them at. This one here is just perfect. Hear that snap?
Let us just hear it on the next one.
Okay.
It sounds really cool.
All right, here we go. One more. Yeah. We got 3 really nice ones here. You got to check your zucchini every day because they quickly grow to baseball bat size, but that's okay. We're going to love it anyway. Gotta love the Tiny Tims. Tiny Tim is one of my favorite little tomatoes. Dwarf tomato, about 2 feet tall, and it is so, so productive. There's tons of them on here. Now, this is one of the first Tiny Tims of the season that I planted. You can see how the plant is kind of starting to yellow and die off. It's a determinate tomato. And those basically die off after, you know, they are finished producing. Whereas indeterminate tomatoes grow and produce until the cold kills them off in the winter time. So tons of little tomatoes on here. I still may get another harvest out of this because Tiny Tims, even though it's determinate, it's productive over a really long period of time. I'll probably replace this plant and have a fresh new one to grow. Definitely a great container tomato. And these are in my late summer garden seed collection. You can grab seeds, fabric containers, and signed copies of my books this week for 20% off with the code LATESUMMER. And also make sure you subscribe because we've got tons of fun content to come, especially since Camera Guy is full-time now. We're filming a lot more. Now let me show you an example of a cucumber that got a little bit past its peak, but they're actually still really good. This one here is Mammoth. Look at that. And see how it's turning kind of yellow? That means it's a tad overripe and also gets that way when it gets hot out, which it definitely has been this week. But we actually had a yellow one yesterday and it was really delicious.
Massive.
It is. These are good to use in smoothies as well. It's easy to miss these. Again, you got to check them every day once they start to produce. I think I've got a couple more on here, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these off. This plant is actually going to be coming out soon. It's one of the first cucumbers I planted. It's got, you know, just lots of bugs and diseases. But remember a few weeks ago, guys, we planted a brand new cucumber plant. So this one's coming up and it'll be right here ready to climb up the trellis as soon as I pull the original one out. And these are growing here in the green 3-foot long little shorty raised bed. Man, you can grow a lot in these things. These are available over at CaliKim Garden and Home as well. And then right next to it here, I've got a pepper. Can't remember what variety this is. You can pack a lot into these little raised beds. It's really fun. It just fits in a nice small little space. Oops, gosh, I missed that one. How did that happen? It's already shriveled up. Sometimes it's kind of fun to throw these right back on the ground. The seeds will drop and you never know what's going to pop up out of that. I think this is the sweet banana from the pepper seed collection. Ooh, we are going to have a nice dinner tonight. Let me know what you all like to do with your garden harvests. If you like to grill it, if you like to can it, freeze it, or dehydrate it. The peppers are just delicious on the grill. If you have lots of hot ones, you can make like a pepper jelly, which is really fun too. I've got some more tomatoes to harvest over here, but I think I've got another zucchini.
You missed one?
Yeah, we did miss one. And this I'm kind of growing half vertically, half like spilling over the back. But when you grow it vertically, you can trim the lower branches off and feed it up through a support or tie it to a stake as it grows. But look at this one growing in the middle.
I did not even see that.
You see that? Way back in there. Go ahead and twist it off.
I can't see it.
Right here, see
There
where my
it
hand
is.
is? Okay,
Not a great shot, but
that's okay. We're gonna have a lot of zucchini. I think we'll be giving some away to the neighbors, family members, friends, whoever stops by. This is a really good size though. It's a perfect size. And you know what? I really was hoping I would have some passion fruit ready. They're turning purple, but they're just not quite ripe enough. See that? So maybe in a couple weeks we'll come back and do another passion fruit harvest. The golden jubilees, one of my favorites. And I know there's some ripe ones under here that I've been saving just for this moment. Oh,
Wow.
look at those. Those are beautiful. One of my favorite tomatoes are orange tomatoes. They're super sweet, just fantastic. Oh my gosh. These are from my raised bed kitchen garden seed collection. Oh man, these are amazing. There's actually 3 in here that are ready. Thank goodness the rats didn't get these. This really works well for that. And I love picking tomatoes fresh off the vine, fully ripened. Oh, look at that little earwig starting to dig through there. Now I will get that little guy out. I'll eat a tomato that has an earwig hole, but not a tomato with a rat hole. That's just not really a good idea. Got one more in here. Beautiful. Now if you want, you can pick your tomatoes early to protect them from the critters. So you could pick them at this stage when they start to turn just a little bit. See how it still has some green on it? It's not quite ready to harvest. It does have just a little bit of give, but you want that deep orange color. But pick it early if you want to. Take it in the house to ripen. Put it on the countertop or pop it in a paper sack. But this one I'm actually going to leave a little bit longer. My little critter protection is working really, really well. Just pop that over, clip it on, and we'll come out and check it again in a couple of days.
You know, I really think that's a great idea that you're doing right there. Using a smart pot with a binder clip. That's brilliant.
Super easy. And these, you know, I use for transplanting, I use for microgreens, so I repurpose them in a ton of different ways. We've got some beautiful poblanos here. These are just gorgeous, gorgeous peppers. Kind of a mild heat. We've been using these in salsas. You could also freeze them whole if you want to use them for later recipes. But this plant is just going crazy. You could also make chili rellenos with these. We may end up doing that because we've got a couple, 3 or 4 really, really nice ones. Those are gorgeous. Look at the color on those and how shiny they are. They're just an amazing, beautiful pepper. And you do want to harvest your veggies when they're ripe to encourage your plants to keep on producing. If you leave them on there too long, kind of signals to your plant that it's done, and then it you know, doesn't produce as many. But there are a ton on this plant. It's very tall. See all the peppers that are way up here? Little baby ones coming on. So we'll still be harvesting these off this plant for a couple of months still. Now if you want to, you can top your peppers. Helps them grow out bushier and be a little bit more of maybe a stable plant if you live in a windy area. But I don't tend to do that. I kind of just let nature take its course and just let them grow. This is probably a 2, maybe a 3 foot tall pepper plant. Lots of beans in the little shorty here. These have been growing in here for, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks. Totally ready to harvest. Red burgundy bush beans. You really got to get in here and pull the bean plants back. And they like to hide underneath. These are beautiful. These are from my bean seed collection. Oh my gosh, gorgeous. You want to plant beans all summer long. Now is a great time to plant them. Still got 6 weeks of warm weather. Get yourself a new crop planted. So I'm just going to go through here and pick all these off. The more you harvest, the more they grow. You want to harvest beans when they're about pencil thickness, right as the beans start to bulge in the pod for the best flavor. Look at the color on those. When you're harvesting beans, you want to grab the plant in one hand, the bean in the other, and just pull it right from the stem. You don't want to yank it too hard because then you'll break the plant. Got a nice little bean harvest from those plants, lots of delicious tomatoes. I'm just having so much fun out here. I mean, this is why we do it. I know I keep saying that, but this is just the best day ever to come out and harvest all these veggies. And I cannot wait to get the eggplant off of here. This is Black Beauty eggplant, so beautiful. In fact, this plant has been growing in this spot for about 2 years now. Overwintered, cut it way back, a couple of times actually. It's got some gorgeous Black Beauty eggplants. Now you know black beauties are ready to harvest when they have a nice shiny appearance to them. In fact, there's one down here I want to show you that's just exactly at its prime. Super shiny. Look at that glow, the deep purple of the eggplant. Had a lot of problems with spider mites on this plant. Trimming the leaves off, spraying it several times, and it has actually made it through. Look at the spider mites on it right now. No problem. We're going to eat these. I love these on the grill. I also love these sliced up, grilled, and make a little eggplant roll up with goat cheese, some grilled peppers. Makes a delicious appetizer. Oh, these are just so good. I love these. Let me grab the other ones off. When you harvest eggplant, you want to cut it just above the, I forgot what that thing is called right there. I know there's a name for it, but cut it just above here. Leave an inch or so of stem on. It's always fun to see the little babies coming on. Look at this little guy. We're going to be harvesting eggplant off this for several months. Tons of flowers on here. I love seeing the little ones grow right before our very eyes. It's so much fun. Got some peppers in here. So excited. We've been harvesting peppers for probably a month or so now, but this is probably my first California Wonder that's fully ripe. These are definitely one of my favorites. You want to pick them when they're nice and red like this one is. Not quite changed color at the top there. That's okay. Isn't that a gorgeous pepper?
That is.
Oh, these are delicious. These are nice thick-walled peppers. So amazing on the grill. And I love these in the eggplant roll-ups I was just talking about. Cut them into little strips and then grill them up. Oh, they're so delicious.
This would be on the video then, the grilled vegetables
Oh
video,
yeah,
right?
we'll do that. Maybe shoot that one tonight. So stay tuned for that one. It's going to be a fun one. This one has just a little bit of sun scald here, and I'll share more about that in just a moment. The Jimmy Nardellos are one of my favorites. Not quite fully red ripe. Actually, I think I'll leave that one on there. And let's move down here and see if we've got any more. These ones I'm going to wait a little bit. See how they're turning orange at the bottom? I'd love to see all of that orange there for the best flavor. So I'm going to leave that one on because we've got plenty to eat here. Here is one I was talking about with sun scald. So see how it's kind of thinning out right here and slightly discolored? That means the sun has gotten to it. And it's still going to be perfectly good for eating though. I am going to go ahead and take this one. But it's one reason why I like to plant peppers close together, because then the leaves will shade out the actual pepper fruits to help them avoid getting sun scald. And pepper stems are really fragile, so I always like to support them a little bit so they don't fall over and snap off when it gets heavy with fruit. See, this one's still not quite fully ripe, but we're going to take it anyway because it's got that sun scald spot, and we'll have it on the grill. Here's some yellow sweet bananas. Ooh, these are so good. I think that's all for this side. I know I've got a few more on the other side to harvest. Now, I'm not super thrilled with the peppers on this side. There's been tons of earwigs and pill bugs in here, and I haven't had them shaded in the heat, so they've gotten a little bit pounded and beat up. But we've got a couple in here. This plant is looking pretty sad, but it is a Jimmy Nardello, which is one of my favorites. This is a sweet pepper. It's a long, really delicious pepper on the grill. And these are kind of getting eaten by bugs, so those aren't doing that great. But you know what? That's just the way gardening goes. Sometimes some plants do really well, some plants not so well.
The battle is real out there.
It definitely is.
It's always something.
And we like to keep it real. It's not all perfect in the garden. This is a beautiful one. Look at the color on that. It's gorgeous. And back in here, this is another California Wonder. Sun scald on that one too. But man, even with peppers not doing well, it's a pretty nice little pepper basket, I'd say. So here we are at the chill zone, one of my favorite spots in the garden this summer. I feel like I keep saying there's lots of favorite spots, but the squash here are going absolutely crazy. So we've got some scallop squash to pull out. Oh, these are delicious on the grill. Love them sliced up. This is a huge one, and we like to grill them just sliced. They just look so pretty. Isn't that beautiful? Maybe a tad oversized, but you know what? We got an oversized one a few weeks ago. That was absolutely delicious. There's one down in here.
Oh, didn't you see that?
I don't think I've ever had such large scallop squash plants. This is the white scallop squash. It's in a couple of my seed collections, raised bed kitchen garden, the late summer garden. Look at this beauty.
Wow.
That's beautiful. That might be, we'll have to slice that and see if it's a little bit on the hard side. Sometimes when they get oversized, they get hard. They grow so fast. I've got a couple over on the other side. Scallop squash is also a really good one to plant in the late summer for late summer and fall harvests. That way you don't run out of things to harvest once your plants start getting beat up, as these ones are a little from the heat. You've got more things to take its place. So grab one of those and use that code late summer to get 20% off. And don't forget about your fall garden. Pretty soon we're going to be doing a fall garden video, maybe this week or next week. But get your seeds started now so you have transplants ready to pop in the garden when the weather gets cooler. Those are so pretty. So let me know if you're growing scallop squash and what your favorite color is. There's yellow, green, and white. I think we probably have about 20 pounds of squash here. This is just so exciting to have all this to harvest from the garden grocery store. Definitely going to be sharing our harvests. Let me know what you enjoy about sharing your harvest. It's just such a joy to be able to share it with those that you love. And I'm going to go ahead and grab these baskets, put them over here, get them out of the sun. Oh, this is so amazing. Just love this. Can't wait to have breakfast. Look at this. How many pounds of vegetables do you think we have here, Jerry? So much fun. Sorry, I got one more basket. I don't think it's all even going to fit over here. Just loving this new raised bed. We built this on the Raised Bed Garden series, so if you missed that, you definitely want to go back. Raised bed gardening is just a wonderful way to grow veggies, and this design is in my new book on raised bed gardening. So grab that and get signed copies over on my website if you haven't yet. And we've got some Boston picklings. Remember when we built this trellis? It was so much fun. This is the A-frame trellis. Design is also in my book. And I designed it so that vegetables could grow up and over, and look how well it's working. The watermelon, the sugar babies, growing like crazy. Did a video on that a few weeks ago too. Let me grab these Boston picklings. These are one of my all-time favorite cucumbers. You can use them for pickling, but we tend to eat them just fresh. They are just so delicious. The flavor is out of this world. There's lots more little babies coming on, so we'll have more cucumbers to pick in a couple of weeks. And that's one reason why it's important to plant cucumbers at different stages throughout the summer. Plant a new wave now, so you'll have more to harvest when these are dying out. Save the best for last, the blackberries. I have been dying to get some more blackberries. Actually, we've been picking a little basketful almost every day, and this is my favorite all-time favorite part of the summer garden, especially this year. The blackberries are just incredible. They're just massive. So juicy, so fresh, so delicious. We love just eating them fresh in the mornings for breakfast. And you know blackberries are ripe when they pull very easily. Oh, that one just popped right off. See that? When they're nice and plump, see how it's nice and swollen and plump as compared to the ones that aren't ripe, the red ones. They pull right off the tree or off the bush here. And these are a thornless blackberry. Don't ask me the variety. I have no idea what it is. We've had these in here for, I'm going to say 5 or 6 years. And every winter we prune them way back. See that one, how it doesn't pull? Oops. Well, it was kind of a hard tug, so that one might be a little bit on the tart side. But go back and watch the pruning video if you're growing blackberries. You definitely need to prune them back when they're dormant in the winter time for really good summer production. And I haven't had too many problems with birds eating my blackberries. But if you do have issues with that, you can cover your berries with a bird netting. So I'm just going to get in here and pick all these, and we're going to have plenty for breakfast this morning. So let me know what kind of berries you're growing and what you like to make out of them. These ones aren't quite ripe yet. I'll leave those for a few more days. You kind of have to pull the vines up because they do like to hide underneath. These are going to be so sweet. Definitely going to have to get that ice cream maker out now. Oh, wow. It's like there's little surprises underneath each bush here. purple fingers. This one's a little bit on the mushy side. What a summer haul. This is so exciting.
Beautiful.
I mean, you guys, this is why we do it. This is why we work hard to grow our own food, to plant those seeds, to grow them indoors, bring them outside, nurture them, and then see all the harvest that we get to eat. So comment below, let me know what you're harvesting from your garden, and let me know what your favorite part of our summer harvest is. And make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for that harvest video, or that grilling video, I mean. And head over to my website, my seed and garden shop. Late summer, get you 20% off. Get some seeds planted. You're gonna love harvesting and growing your own fresh organic vegetables. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.